So today's topic is preliminary invoicing. Although it will not continue, it will not go on for the entire session today. It is a shorter topic. Once it is finished, I'll pick up something else. So let me find it. Okay. So what is preliminary invoicing? Preliminary invoicing means suppose when the invoicing is sent, before I send the invoice, say I want the customer wants that don't send me the final invoice, send me a preliminary invoicing first. If I agree with the amount, then you can send me the final invoice. And if I don't agree, if the customer doesn't agree with the amount, say the amounts are on a higher side, instead of sending, so we have already learned about invoice correction. So they can, so we can send the invoice regardless of whatever amount we are sending, and later we can pass a debit or credit note based on their complaint. But if the customer is very particular that they don't want any correction, they want the invoice to have the amount that we both of us agree. So in that case, they may require us to send a preliminary invoicing, which will not have any posting document, only the invoice PDF will be sent. And if they agree, the real invoicing will be posted and sent. If they don't agree, then the preliminary invoicing will be reversed. And again, another preliminary invoicing will be sent. After they agree, then we are going to uh, post the invoice. Okay, so preliminary invoicing may happen that not for all customers, very few particular customers maybe with whom we have sent invoice and with whom we had earlier disputes regarding invoice. Then for those customers to redress their complaint, we can send a preliminary invoice. Okay, so here is a process. Example: billing agent checks the invoice before he posts it. The preliminary invoice can be used for those customers who had many disputes in past. Okay, so incorrect invoices were sent earlier, so they don't want to. We also don't want that kind of experience to happen with them. The aim is to reduce the likelihood of further dispute by checking outgoing invoices before posting and to ensure so customer retention. So if multiple times incorrect invoices are posted, the customer may leave us and they may join another company. I mean, they may use the service of another company. So to retain the customer, we don't want to send them incorrect invoices multiple times. So precondition define preliminary invoice categories in order to control details of preliminary invoice process. So whatever um, whatever CA we want to be part of preliminary invoicing, we can create a separate invoicing category and we can assign in the CA master for those CAs. Again, because like yesterday we did collective billing. So for those customers, we want a separate print doc, separate invoice PDF. We can create separate invoicing category, and those customer who those CA masters who has those invoicing category, for them these preliminary invoices will be sent. In the customizing, okay, nobody. In the customizing, activate invoicing function, posting area 2639. Okay, so this invoicing function you have to activate. I will activate. Then one posting area, it is also suggesting to here a two-digit key. I don't recall what is that preliminary invoicing category or whatever, something we have to activate. You Okay, here you enter preliminary invoice category for combination of invoice process, invoice type, and invoicing category. Okay, here it is asking me to activate, so we will activate. Now here, uh, the process is mentioned. Two bits are creating one billing document. These two bits are creating another billing document. These two billing documents ideally will create an invoice. Instead of creating an invoice, we'll create a preliminary invoice. Now we'll send the preliminary invoice, and if the customer agrees, then we will generate the invoicing document. This real invoicing document will generate the FICA documents. The preliminary invoice will not generate any FICA documents. So here you have seen that two preliminary invoices are there. Okay, so it may happen the first preliminary invoice customer did not like, so we have to reverse the first one. Then again we'll correct the bit, sorry, reverse the preliminary invoice, reverse the billing document, accept the bit. Again the bits will come, which will be billed. Again preliminary invoice will be generated, and that will be sent to the customer. If this time customer likes it, then it will be really invoiced. Okay, so here are the different steps. Scenario: when you create a preliminary invoice document, the system creates separate additional invoice document. The process can be shown, can be following: run invoicing function with preliminary invoice. So we'll add the invoicing function there. When you create a preliminary invoice document, the system creates a separate additional invoicing document without creation of FICA document. Okay, so we will see that the preliminary invoice will not have any posting document. Preliminary invoicing document can be displayed using transaction if you can be doc disp with the selection variant preliminary invoicing. We'll display that. Ordinarily, it is possible to create clarification case. Okay, we'll also see that for preliminary invoice also we can create clarification case, so that it can be sent to clarification workbench, so that we can add the manual intervention depending on customer's process. Print the preliminary invoice, reverse the preliminary invoice can be reversed in the transaction for reversing invoicing document, because it may happen the sole purpose of creating the preliminary invoice that they are going to agree. So it may happen that they may not agree, so in that case we will reverse it, create another preliminary invoice. Then finally when they agrees, we will release the preliminary invoice, and the system creates a normal invoice with FICA document. When releasing the preliminary invoice, system selects the invoicing order for the preliminary invoice and creates the invoicing document based on elements making the preliminary invoice, making of the blah blah blah. Okay, this is fine. And it is talking about some redundant. Well, with the creation of normal invoice, the existence of preliminary invoice is redundant. This can be used to delete preliminary invoices. Okay, that's fine. This I have not worked. Now here are the config which we are going to do next. Very small topic. So in the config side, let me increase. So create a preliminary invoicing category, and in this posting area, you assign the preliminary invoicing category. And here also in the preliminary invoicing category that we have created YN01 something, we can have clarification reason and processing rule release preliminary invoice. Okay, so let's go to the system and do the config. PyCa img convergent invoicing invoicing process. So here we have to create a separate invoicing process. In collective also we could create a separate invoicing process. We did not. Now here I'm going to create a separate invoicing process. My invoicing process is okay. Before that, in my invoicing process, in the selection control, so we do invoicing for source document category ACTIT, call B, INVB and VBRK. Here I have to add one more. Okay, click on new entry and add prelin. You'll find preliminary invoice. That means this will be, if I get source document as prelin, that one also we will invoice. Okay, so earlier we used to invoice the other one, so in that we will include this one also. Then we'll go to the invoicing function, and let's see that invoicing function is activated or not. Pay form, pay card. Okay, this is not there. Click on new entry and add prelim invoice, creation of preliminary invoice. Okay, just add it, enter, save. So two things I added. First, in my both of them I added to my invoicing process 12. First, in the selection control, I added the preline source document category so that the preline source documents can also be invoiced. And then in the invoicing function, we added prelim invoice. Okay. Now, next, I'm going to copy and create a new invoicing process. Okay. So I'm going to create P1. Okay, P1 is done. P2. P2. So I'll select and copy. I'll create P2. Okay. Z102 preliminary invoicing, or say B2 B2B customers. Just all customer will not ask for preliminary invoicing. Only for B2B customer we are getting. Okay. And copy all. So all the invoicing functions which were there in our what do I say 12, they are copied to P2 also. Okay, so P2 has, in the selection control also, P2 has prelim, and in the invoicing function also P2 has preliminary invoicing. Okay, so this is done. Next, come back. Okay, save. I should have saved it in that screen itself. Now here we would definitely need a bill from, separate bill from, which for the preliminary invoice, because the sole purpose is to create a new PDF. Okay, although I don't have a application form, so still I'll create one with the same application form only. I'm creating copy Z1P2. Okay, Z102 preliminary invoice bill form. Okay, here you'll assign a Z, a different application form, which will say like something at the face of it saying that preliminary invoice, test copy, so that customer can understand. Okay, it is not posted; it is just sent to them for their approval or for their validation. Okay, so I created a new form ID Z1P2. Okay, but I have used the same application form. Here you will use the new Z series preliminary invoicing form. Okay, so go back. This is done. Next we'll do define invoicing type. Here 12, go to the invoicing process of 12, and here in 12, against invoicing type 12, invoicing process 12 is used. Okay, so copy and include P2 also. P2 also. Okay, and name in process Z102. I think I mentioned preliminary invoicing process. Okay, copy all. So my 12 has invoicing type 12 has two invoicing process. This one was already there, and this I just included for preliminary invoicing. Okay, I think this is done. Oof, I'm not saving. Next, define specification for determination of bill form. Here, select single copy, invoicing process 12, sorry, invoicing process P1, invoicing type, invoicing type is 12 only. I did not invoicing, why is it saying 30? I did not create new invoicing type. Okay, I created invoicing process only, and whatever may be the invoicing category, I will assign a new form ID. So here I have created Z1P2. Although my Z1P2 will ultimately derive the same form ID, but in real project, against Z1P2, a new Z application form will be assigned, so that when the invoicing is done, the new form will be displayed. Okay, so here I have used Z1P2 and Z102, same forms, you will assign different forms. Okay, this is done. Next is, let me see in the document, do I have any specific posting document for preliminary although it will not post, let me check. In the posting document reference, do I have anything for preliminary invoice like we did for call, zero call? Let me search star prelim star. Hmm. Why is it taking so long? It is searching within 35 entries only. Okay, there is nothing, so we don't have to add anything here. I'm on system got slow. It will reconnect shortly. Ah, so nothing to add here. We don't have a dedicated posting document reference for it. Now go to additional functions, and here we have defined preliminary invoice category. Okay, so come here, it is already defined here. So preliminary, this is the 2-digit. I told you there will be a 2-digit preliminary invoicing category. It is created. A clarification can be also assigned. You can here also you can assign a different invoicing form. And processing rule, release preliminary invoicing, this we have seen that in the config, in the ebook also. So here, release preliminary invoicing. Okay, so release means once the preliminary invoicing is done, if we are okay with this, we will just release it. Okay, and then one more config node is there, assign preliminary invoice category. Come here. So currently it is assigned for all. If you want, you can click on go to select keys. Here you can have your own invoicing process, invoicing type, and invoicing category. You can add those. Okay, so say I don't want the preliminary invoicing category to work for everyone. I can specify to particular invoicing process, invoicing type, and invoicing category. Okay, that also we can do. So here you see it is mentioned like that. This is 2639. 2639. So here what they have done, they have assigned for particular invoicing category, invoicing type, and uh, CA master will have this kind of invoicing category. Then the preliminary invoicing category, in my case PI. Okay, in my case PI, the output is given, but it is not assigned to any particular. Okay, let me do that also. Select, go to select keys. I'll add the specifications, that is the PI will not be available for everyone. Okay, so select single copy. My invoicing process will be, I just created new PP2 invoicing process. Invoicing type, I did not create anything. 12 only. Invoicing category, okay, I can go with star. I don't know if my CA has okay, now I have 3 CA. In the first CA I added an invoicing category. Okay. Anyways, I can use that invoicing category. I think Z102 invoicing category I have created. So I want it to work for Z102 only, and the output will be PI. Okay, save. And the previous config I'm removing so that not everybody can use preliminary invoicing feature. Select and delete and save. Now let me check my CA master has Z102 invoicing category or not, else it will not work. /o C882 CA. My CA is, oh, I have to delink the parent child relationship. Uh, Convergent invoicing I have. Okay, I don't have any invoicing category here. 615. This was our first CA. Okay, I'll put invoicing category because if the invoicing category is not there, the preliminary invoicing will not work. I can keep it here, or I can, if I remove, then I will put start there. Okay, in the config. So Adding the invoicing category at the CA master meaning means that I want to do something extra for this particular master data. Okay, that means for this CA I want to generate a preliminary invoice. This is done. Now I will remove the linkage. Okay, so the collective bill we have already discussed, so I don't want to generate another. So if this linkage is not broken, then my child CA will generate also a collective bill for the parent CA. Okay, so I'll just delink it and save. Okay, and also the second CA just with Boomra 2, here also I'm removing the linkage. It doesn't have any invoicing category, that's fine, because I'm not going to do for 300, I'll do for 615. Okay, so all the config is done. Let me check if I have missed out anything. Category assignment, this one, these three are also done. Okay, now let's go and do the end user part. So first I'll generate bit /o SE38 RFQ cubic bit sample. Z102 for 615, say $35 bits I'm generating. I don't want to go through all the clarification and all. So execute, billable item is generated. Till billing, no change. Select and bill. Billing is done. Now invoicing. Now when I do the invoicing, check the bill from date 16 to, I guess. Achha, 18 to, sorry. Now when I do the bill from, when I do the invoice, I have,
Uh,
yes,
Sumitra, I have one
yes.
question with respect to not this process, but with respect to split and invoice. So,
Mm,
for say, if we have these billable items, and if one of the billable item only I want to invoice, so
mm.
how can we achieve that?
If they
It's
are
something.
generated, if they are generated with same source transaction type, they will be invoiced together. Ideally they will not generate with same source transaction type. CC will give you unique source transaction ID, sorry, not type, source transaction ID. Then you can pick and choose individual ones. Okay, you can bill them
Okay.
individually, you can invoice them individually, but here we are generating with the same source transaction ID. Even if I enter unique ones, all four will have the same source transaction ID in the manual. So in that case, you can run separate bit upload. Okay, for Z01 one bit generation, Z02 another bit generation, Z03 another, Z04 another. Then while generating, you can enter unique source transaction ID. Then those ones can be built uniquely and invoiced uniquely. Okay, in an integrated
Okay.
system, you can do it, but here I'm doing together now. That's why we are getting the same source transaction ID. They are built together and they are invoiced together.
Okay. Fine. Fine. Thank you.
No issue. Now, when I invoice it, I have these two options. First, though, I can invoice it with our regular 12 wala, but now I don't want to really. This 12 can be used for original invoicing, which I don't want because I want to send the preliminary invoicing first. So here I'll choose P2. Okay, uh, 12 will be normal invoicing route, that is posting document will be generated, but if you don't want to generate the posting document, you can use P2, that is preliminary invoicing document. So I'll select P2 and I'll put these dates. Okay, with that go for expert mode. Okay, because I want to see the invoicing functions in the dialog, so click on expert mode. Okay, it is asking for the recon key, click on yes. Recon key is created. Okay, so for this date, click on execute run invoicing. Now you'll see the all the invoicing functions which were activated. Okay, here you'll see preliminary invoice will also come, payment reference, IJK payment method, creation of preliminary invoicing, it starts with C. Okay, anyway, so these are all activated. So Click on the green tick, save. Oops, there's an issue. P2, I2, Z102, 2600 posting area, something I have missed out. When I copied, the P2 is not added. 1, 2, what is 1, 2? Invoicing type, acha 12. 2600, I missed out something. Let me do it. Slash NFUC0 2600. Okay, here 12 is there. I think P2 and 12 is not there now. So uh, I'll copy, single copy here for the invoicing process P2, which I have not added. 12 and what else? Z102 it is expecting. So actual invoicing, same invoicing document type. You can create a new. This is for invoicing, not FICA document. Okay, you can create a new invoicing document. You can assign. I'm not creating any. So same document type Z1 only. You can create P1 or something and save. This config was missing, so this is done. I have to go back and I don't have to rebuild, so I'll just restart the preliminary invoicing process. Okay, so I'll go back and I'll refresh. Once I refresh, the other items, other build invoice, those will also appear. Okay, so refresh. Okay, these four are ours. Okay, 35, 35, 35, 35. Select these four, refresh a couple of times. Select these four, then invoice, again invoice with P2 because I want the preliminary invoicing feature to work, and change the document date, posting date. Click on expert mode, click on this run invoicing. Okay, this creation of preliminary invoicing is create invoicing list. Creation of preliminary invoicing is there, green tick. Oops, now what? 2605 document type for. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I went there. I was looking for this one. I forgot to configure this one. That means, remember, I came here for FICA document. I wanted to see, do I have any dedicated preliminary invoicing? Like yesterday, we have zero call. So I was checking this, but I forgot my uh, invoicing type is different. Okay, so let me do it also. 2605. It is here. I can directly go, or I can go document, posting document. This one. So I came here. I was looking for this, but I did not change this. Okay. So 12 with zero bill is there. So I'll just single copy and I'll add the new invoicing process P2. P2. So it runs with zero bill only. It does not look for anything else. Okay. Save. Although it will not generate any FICA document, but still it requires with this posting invoicing process. Okay. This is done. Let's go back and try again. Back, refresh. Select select all for invoice, change to P2, change document date, posting date, expert mode, green tick. What the? No billing form determined. Bill form I assigned P2 I2, P2 12. Billing form I just assigned. Why is it saying so? For not against P2. Select. So against invoicing process P2 I did not. I did, right? I came here, position P2. I think I came here because I wanted to show you. Did I configure? Anyways, select single copy invoicing process P2. So you can also create with star, but anyways, my CA has Z102. P2, where is P2? P212, Z102. Let me create for star also. Single copy, star. Anything else I'm missing? Invoicing type. Against it, I have already assigned P2. Okay, let me try again. Back. Invoice. This is P2. What again? No billing form determined for invoicing process and type. Is it looking for some other posting area? Invoicing process type P2. Invoicing process 12. Process 12 type process P2 type 12. Process P2 type 12. Okay, I changed last time. I changed here Z1 P2 against P1 I did. Okay, that's fine. But now I have done this once I'll do here, but still it will not fix the issue. Using type 12, using category. But it is not deriving any invoicing form in this config. Shall I assign anything here? This is let me start afresh. 58. Okay, it got generated without expert mode only. I think with expert mode also it will generate. Maybe the previous ones, the ones that were already generated, that was not working. Okay, so normal without expert mode itself it got generated. I wanted to show the invoicing function activated, that's why I went for the expert mode. So here you see the in preliminary invoicing document is generated. You see how to understand, identify. Here you have a preliminary invoicing checked, and also uh, Also, I think one more thing. Okay, here the different format is generated. So although it is going to hit the same smart form, but we generated a, instead of Z102 we use Z1P2. Okay, that against that whatever Z form is assigned, that will be generated. And it also says preliminary, and in the posting document you will see there is none, that is the FICA document is not generated. And whatever maybe form is assigned, that form will be sent to the customer. Here something else, test, like test print watermark, anything, whatever way you want to design the form, that will be that will be sent to the customer. Now once the billing is done, normally once this invoicing is done, it would complete. Okay, so here the icon would have changed. So when I refresh, you see the icon remains this only, billed but not invoiced. These ones we have already invoiced, it should have become like this invoiced, but it is still, sorry, not five, four line items, it is still like that, billed but not invoiced. Okay, why? Because the final invoicing is not done, only the preliminary invoicing is done. Okay, now how to see? So I came out, how to see the preliminary invoice? I came out, I did not uh, copy the preliminary invoicing document. So to see that, slash o fkkinv doc underscore disp decode, you go there. If you remember the invoicing document, you enter. Else if you don't remember, enter the contract account. From the drop down you choose preliminary invoices. For this CA, show me all the preliminary invoices. Only one preliminary invoice is there, 615. So execute, it will show you the preliminary invoice. Okay, this one, 65. Okay, now if the customer agrees this invoice, then we will continue to create the real invoice. Or if the customer does not remove, does not I mean, like the invoice amount, say 105 is higher than what they are expecting, then we can edit and we can reverse the preliminary invoice. Okay, this reversal feature you already know, so I'm not reversing. So say the customer agrees with this invoice amount. Okay, then what will happen? We will release the invoice. Okay, before I release the invoice, let me explain some concept. Okay, we have less than 1 minute. Please join back in just join back in 2 minutes. I have some work, I'll be back. 2 3 minutes, I'll be back. Okay, um if you wait in the waiting room, just give me a time, give me some time, I'll add you. Okay, in 2 3 minutes. Okay, then we'll continue with this. Thank you.